right, welcome to the Servant Season 3 Fan Theory episode, where we're going to read all your comments, or as many as we can, from the first 4 episodes and see if we can figure out what's going on. So I'm Dan, this is Julia. Welcome to the show. First of all, we just want to say thank you so much for the support so far. I mean, we were like blown away by all the comments, and some of you guys wrote like essays. It's incredible. So keep up these theories, keep it going. It makes the show better. It really does. And Servant, Jules, would you agree? Like, this is the type of show that has to be week by week. If you could binge it, I don't feel like it's as good.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Even just week by week, like we're still getting comments that are pointing out things that I didn't see in the episode. So they, like I said, plenty of times before, they pack so much into that, 35, 40 minutes. You know, if you binged all of that in one day, no way you would get all of the plot lines and all the little intricate details and things that they go into. So
yeah,
I definitely am glad that they're doing this weekly.
Yeah, me too. And I had my mind blown a few times by your comments that we're about to read. And let's keep it going because it's a lot of fun. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. That's how you get in the pool for the $50 movie gift card at the end of the season. And why not? It's fun. And also let us know if we should go. So we're in the Philly area. So let us know if you'd like to see me and Jules go down and make a video on the filming locations of Servant towards the end of the season, or maybe right after the season. We could go down and do that. If you guys would like to see that, let us know. It would be like the first vlog style video we ever made. So we're willing to try it out if you guys want to see it.
I think it would be fun.
Yeah, me too. And I really want to go to that house and see if I get like a creepy vibe.
I feel like just inherently you would.
Yeah.
Leanne's presence is definitely still all over that thing.
Oh yeah. All right. So you're doing episodes 1 and 3. I'll get 2 and 4. How about you kick things off? What do we got?
So our first comment from episode 1 is another return commenter. This is Nikos. And Nico says, I think the cult has a well-defined hierarchy, with Aunt Josephine being clearly superior to Aunt May or Uncle George. When Uncle George mentioned that they will send someone, and Leanne thought that they would send Aunt May, she was certain she could deal with Aunt May, but she was disturbed to find out that they would send someone else, and she was very scared when she found out that that person that came for her was Aunt Josephine. Steel 510 Rain replies to this and says, it's so hard to piece the cult thing together because their goal and purpose is still such a mystery. The show is so great. I love it so much. But Josephine may have just been the fixer.
Yeah.
I did ad-lib a little bit on that last part. But
yeah. I mean, they make a good point. It's, at first you're like Uncle George, Aunt May, all right, they're in charge. But then when Aunt Josephine came around, she was the one that was totally in charge. And now she's still dead behind the wall and still gets talked to by Leanne. So we're going to see another aunt or uncle this season, guaranteed. Yeah. We still haven't met that hook hand figure that Roscoe saw in his.
Oh, I'm still waiting for that. I can't wait to see who that is.
Yeah, me too. So there's definitely a hierarchy. Good point. So we're going to find out more as this season goes along, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. The second comment that we have from our first episode is from user Sam Flynn. And Sam says, I just binged 2 seasons and the first episode of season 3. Has anyone theorized that Leanne's powers come from her near-death experience from the fire when she was a child, and that the cult members have also had near-death experiences? I'm almost sure Uncle George or someone said that explicitly. Anyways, I'm thinking Leanne and the cult came back as more than human with powers that are heavily regulated by the cult. Leanne, being one of the younger cult members, is questioning these rules and testing the limits of what she can do. Seems like this episode and this season, based on the trailer, will be based on the darkness of her powers and the reason why the cult established such strict guidelines to control how harmful her abilities can be. I mean, we've talked so much about, they bring these people back to life, but maybe they never actually technically died. So I can definitely see how that theory could fit into some of the things that we've been talking about so far.
Or you go on the other side of it, and everyone from the Church of Lesser Saints were resurrected and were killed. So either way could be plausible, but I'm excited to see more about it. And like I said in the previous video, like, they're keeping the cult stuff really hidden this season. Maybe it's right in our face, Vera, maybe, but
that's fair.
I love the way that they're like hiding the cult this season and like making Leanne, at least attempt to make Leanne feel like she's past past her issues because she took
Yeah.
care of Aunt Josephine, but she definitely isn't there mentally because she doesn't trust anyone this season. And it's kind of like they're messing with her without even having to really do anything. And it's really cool.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think you see that in a lot of aspects of the show. I mean, and Josephine still has a lot of power over her, and she's dead behind a wall, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah,
I mean,
she literally,
she's
yeah,
she
she had
talks
an
to her what? She
argument.
talked to her a few times, right?
Yeah, she's like, "You happy now? You happy now?" Yeah, she definitely still has control over her. Yeah, for sure.
I'm sure that's a hard power dynamic to break, even in death.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, episode 2. I'll kick it off with Valor Morgulis. I think there is still repression, and Dorothy didn't remember that her Jericho died. She almost did remember last season, but the doll came back to life, and she must have thought she was temporary insanity or just result of stress from her child being abducted. She did really look confused when the woman was talking about the ambulance incident that happened in the summer. It could be why Leanne's paranoia intensified because she thinks the guests were part of the Lesser Saints and that the cult was trying to make Dorothy remember. Every time I think I know what Dorothy's thinking, I realize that I don't. And we're going to get to that when we get to episode 4, what happened last week. But she's not okay. Like something is
No,
wrong. Yeah.
definitely not. And like I'm getting hints of like, I don't want to say like bipolar, but I guess bipolar kind of with her, because you just see her moods just go up and like up. Like she's just extremely happy. And then all of a sudden, like something clicks and she's just out of it, you know?
Yeah.
And I'm sure just some kind of trauma like that could do that to you.
Yeah, for sure. So what do you guys think about Dorothy? Let me know. I think we're going to find out something this coming week. I think this episode is about to be crazy on Friday. So we'll see. Now, Naidu says, I think in classic Shyamalan style, Leanne's anxiety isn't irrational. I think the cult may already be in the house, maybe Ron Weasley's new girlfriend. So yeah, Vera, we talked about her. I don't trust her at all.
Sure
I personally think she's in the cult. I really do. And I think the reveal is going to be scars on her back. I think at some point we're going to see her back, going to be scars, and that might even be like the end of an episode to be like, oh, there you go. But I think you're right. I think you're spot on that she is in the cult and she's been kind of watching all along. Because think about it, between the end of season 2 and the start of season 3, there's 3 months that went by, right? That's what we know.
Yeah.
She wasn't in his life prior to that, and now she conveniently is, and now she's so on his side to expose the truth, get Dorothy to remember, just like Aunt Josephine wanted. So yeah, Vera.
Yeah, she seems a little too invested for my taste.
Yeah, we're on to you,
Like,
Vera. Yeah.
yeah, it's definitely suspicious. And have we seen her eat anything yet? I can't remember.
I don't think so, but that could.
And she
that
wasn't
could
in last
be-
episode either, right?
She wasn't. No, she wasn't. Wouldn't it be funny if when we find out she's in the cult, they do like a flashback and she's actually standing on the lawn with the rest of the people, like in the back?
Oh,
That'd
I
be
would
crazy.
die. I
right?
would die.
It'd be
I
nuts.
hope that happens. I'll give
Me
you
too.
$10 if that happens.
Okay. Now, episode 3, Hair, the Julian crazy episode. Let's go.
Oh, there's some good ones in this. So this comment is from Nana May. I think this is how that's pronounced. And they said, one thing I think people overlook is when Sean compliments Leanne after watching the homeless segment on TV. After Sean gives the homeless people the sandwich, and he said, they loved the ham and cheese, Leanne. Thanks for helping me with that. Ham and cheese is a very plain sandwich. In no way would Sean make such a plain sandwich on his own accord. When he mentioned that Leanne helped him, it clicked. They won't eat the food that you make, meaning they won't eat special kinds of food with spices or fancy ingredients, just plain food. Like when Uncle George took off the sauce from the chicken in season 1 and ate it plain. Maybe Leanne is having a soft spot for her old cult siblings.
Yeah, I love this comment because do you remember Uncle George when he was like wringing out the chicken to get
And it
all the
makes
grease?
sense now.
Yeah,
Because
it
like
does.
that was the fucking weirdest scene. But
Yeah.
now I'm looking back at it like, oh,
Yeah.
spot on.
And I think last week pretty much told us that those homeless people are in the cult. I think they are because I mean there was a whole crowd of them staring up at Leanne, like kind of like worshiping her. So I don't think they're dangerous. The more I think about it, I really don't. I think they're desperate, and we're gonna see what they want because I think next week she's gonna have to talk to them because now there's a whole there's so many of them. There's like north of
For
20 people.
sure, for sure. But I'm
Yeah.
wondering though, if if these people on her lawn are cult members, like, are they still kind of siding with Aunt May and Uncle George and that faction of this cult? Or are they also kind of trying to break part from it, like Leanne, like I said in our last video? So
Yeah,
that's
I
something
think
I would like to know.
I'd agree with you right now if I had to answer that they are on Leanne's side. I think that's where I'd go with it for sure.
Yeah, but you can definitely tell she feels some kind of connection to them, I would say.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know why she would help them if she didn't, Okay, so our next comment is from Kizenbell. And Kizenbell mentions in the beginning of this comment that they don't think that we're seeing things in order. And that maybe that means that none of this is actually supernatural. Just the way we're seeing it is making us perceive it that way. And she also says that Leanne never treats the doll like a doll. She always treats it like a baby. So the baby is actually still a doll that we all see as a baby because we're convinced that it's a baby. Natalie has mentioned this so many times, how powerful our minds are. I know she has said that our minds only let us see what we are capable of handling, which would be very interesting if that were the case.
I want this to be the case. I really do.
I feel like it would just go with the entire theme of this show, that like as soon as you think you know where it's going, it's the absolute opposite direction.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Total left turn. And I would love this to be the case. So no, I'm gonna have to wait on the things aren't in order because I know we have a comment coming up that kind of plays with that. So I'll say my theory on that after that one. But yeah, as far as the baby, I would love for this comment to be true. I would. It'd be nuts.
And then our third comment is from Luciana, and Luciana says, not sure if anyone noticed, but at 14 minutes, when Julian was calling his dad to let him know that he had found Jericho and Dorothy dead, there's a hanging body in the background. It's very hard to make out because it's dark, but I guess it's Sean. Maybe they're all dead. It would also work well with the wooden chef puppet that was given by Uncle George to Dorothy, and we later see it hanging above Jericho's bed. I also remember that in season 1, in the very first episode, Dorothy said that the house had too many ghosts.
This is like the MVP so far, Luciana. Thank you for this comment.
Yes, thank you so much. This blew my mind. Absolutely blew my mind.
Blew my mind. And she even put the 14-minute mark in. So if you want to go and watch it, which I did. So this is where I'm going to go back real quick to how they could be playing with time, right? Where I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think that especially in the episode Hair, when you had 2 flashback or dream sequences with Julian. The first was in the beginning when he walks in, there's the pig with all the gross bugs on it, the maggots, and then he goes up and it's implied that Jericho's dead in the crib, and then he finds Dorothy dead on the ground, and then the next scene, the hanging body at the 14th minute mark. So I think this is just a nightmare sequence type of thing, and that, obviously it didn't happen. It could be a flash forward. They could be telling us how the series is going to end, or they could be dead all along. So it's just such a mind scratcher, this one, that I would love to get more takes on it. Can you imagine if there was a Sixth Sense type of thing and they were actually dead all along? Like, that'd be out of control.
I was gonna say, this comment gives me very much Haunting of Hill House vibes.
Yes. Oh yes. Great show, by the way.
And honestly, which was a fantastic show. So I would not be mad if that was the outcome. But if it is, then we have quite the roller coaster ahead of us for the next couple episodes.
Mm-hmm. And next season is the final season. So things are going to start amping up in a way that you can amp up when the series is about to be over. So there's going to be a lot of, what just happened type moments left in the season. But this comment just made me think, like, damn. And I didn't even notice that at first. So I'm happy I went back and watched it. But yeah, obviously it's the worst case scenario where everybody's dead. But that could just be Julian dealing with his demons. Maybe it was just a nightmare, a daydream. What do you guys think it was? Because, obviously we don't have the answer right now. So what do you think it was? And which theory are you on the side with? Because this comment just opens up so many different directions that it could go. Episode 4, the most recent episode, Ring. First one's from Hank. I'm curious if both the Dorothy and Sylvia incidents were intentionally caused by Leanne. It all seems very similar to Leanne causing the seagull attack on Julian. Things like these always seem to happen so far when Leanne either gets jealous or protective of people close to her. She's starting to learn how to use her supernatural abilities. The cult is very insidious, so I'm thinking maybe the cult is controlling the house, which is in turn controlling Leanne, who is finally controlling the Turners. I'm excited to see what's in store and what your take on the madness is. Yeah, I agree. And I'm going to say, yes, she had something to do with both incidents when Dorothy just totally went into a complete, like, she was just not even there anymore. She was interviewing the mural guy, and all of a sudden she's just looking off into the distance like she's not even there. And that was right when Jericho was dying, or was crying. Right when he was crying, she loses her shit. So I think Leanne did have something to do with that. And then because the latter one, when Sylvia loses her finger, there was chaos everywhere. Chaos. And when Leanne is not comfortable, crazy shit happens. It does. It happens with the house, with the cracks, with the bees. It just does. Right. So I think you're spot on here, Hank. And I think, yes, she had something to do with that. Now, we haven't seen her use her powers on screen yet. I think we will eventually, but I think you're spot on. What do you think?
Especially because she doesn't like Sylvia.
Right.
So, of course, of everybody who was there, because easily something could have happened to Sean or Toby, but it happened to Sylvia because that's who her jealousy was, aimed at.
Aimed at. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously. So I think so. And maybe because Dorothy's the mother, she goes into a trance because Leanne was worried at the time for Jericho because Jericho's screaming. So it all does connect in one way, shape, or form. But also with the house, right? The house and Leanne are connected. Roscoe won't go in the house. That's a big sign. Something's up with the house, and it's definitely tied to Leanne. So you're on the right track there. And Talia Sims jumps in and says, a quote, "This is a godless house." Uncle George said that way back. So it's definitely all tied together. And you guys kind of went hand in hand with both comments there. And she was just kind of backing up your theory. That's what it seemed like. What's up with the house? Is the house demented, or is Leanne caught like chicken or the egg? You know what I mean? Does Leanne cause the house to be crazy, or is the house a godless house and crazy shit's going to happen regardless? So what do you guys think? Last one, Visions from the Golden Tiger Cult. What a name. I get the feeling that the homeless people are of Leanne, meaning whatever Leanne is, they are also, be it angels, spirits, creatures, whatever. Good theory there. Definitely good theory there. I could see that happening. But right now, if I had to make a guess, I would say Leanne is above them somehow. I don't think they're on the same level, but I think they could be on the same team and have the same goals and ambitions, whether it be they were all defectors of the cult and that's why they're homeless now, or that they're just like pro Leanne and they want to see her succeed, so they want it to be near her. And it looks like, don't you think it looks like it when they're all like worshiping her, like looking up at the window?
Absolutely.
It doesn't look like they want.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like I really don't think they're trying to hurt her. I think they
look more like they're in awe of her than they want to be intimidating to her,
Yeah, that's where I'm at with Leanne and the homeless people right now. And I really think this episode coming up is going to be just ape shit. I really do. And we're going to find out.
So excited.
Yeah. We'll find out more about those guys, about Leanne and their connection. Maybe she'll have the conversation with the young kid who wanted to talk to her last week. But yeah, I think this episode coming up is going to be really damning and give us a lot of evidence one way or the other. So we'll have to wait and see. But I want to thank you guys again so much. Seriously, all these comments are great. You guys are writing books out there, and it's fantastic. Keep the theories coming. Subscribe, comment. We're going to do another one of these fan theory videos in a couple weeks once we have enough to do. And get your theories in. What's going to happen? Let's figure it out together. All right. Thanks so much for listening, and we will see you on Friday.
Bye, guys.